working 12 hours a day. That's been my life since June 1st up until this moment, and honestly, I'm actually loving it. Waking up at 5 a.m., taking cold showers, deleting all social media, not talking to anyone. I haven't made a big deal out of any of this. The truth is, all these productivity hacks are just pretty aesthetic videos from Pinterest, and I can tell you there's another way. A path that lets you work at peak productivity consistently, at least for weeks, though I think even for months and years too, and without going completely insane. In this video, I'm going to tell you about sustainable productivity, and it's not some trendy rituals or super secret stuff, it's something much more fundamental. I'll share 6 tricks that have helped me last at least over a 2-month now. When it comes to constant work, most people only talk about discipline and willpower, but they completely ignore and neglect the other side of the coin. Even though it's equally important, you absolutely must plan your days off and so-called chill periods of the day. How I personally rest, I've written about before. But for now, I wanted to talk about what you've heard 1,000 times, that you need discipline. But the truth is, willpower is an extremely limited resource. All these Davids, Gogginses, Cristiano Ronaldos, AC, it's limited for them too. If you rely completely on willpower alone to accomplish all your tasks, you'll burn out very quickly and give up on all your dreams. That's exactly why I actively plan, well, at least my breaks throughout the workday. Imagine it like this: your brain and mind are like a race car. Well, you wouldn't drive your Ferrari at full speed all the time without stopping. You'd definitely stop for maintenance and refueling. The exact same thing works with your brain. Let's be honest here, if you don't plan your rest, your conscience will torture you. If you, for example, lie down and start watching some movie or playing games, personally, this happens to me. When I start watching some movie, I immediately get these thoughts in my head like, man, I'm just wasting time, I'm doing the wrong thing, I need to be working, and you eat yourself alive. When it's planned, when you have it scheduled, today I'm watching a movie for 2 hours. You lie there without second thoughts, watch the movie, and maybe even pick up something useful from it. So you need to think through your rest periods. If you don't have this, you'll start destroying your motivation, and without motivation, it's really impossible to work for very long. Whoever says what, I want to be as honest and open with you as possible. You don't need to break your brain. You don't need to do some super unique actions or somehow separately control your hormones just to simply sit down and start working or studying. Everything is much simpler. We've just started overcomplicating things through all these videos that used to seem pretty basic. While everyone talks about some super productive life hacks, the oldest and most reliable things are physical exercise and sleep. And honestly, I made this mistake very often myself, neglecting sleep and the gym, but in the long run, it only hurts you. Personally, I always try to sleep at least 9 hours. Yes, not 7, 8, at least 9. That's when I feel maximally energized. And like, if I don't get enough sleep for an hour or 2, I won't work more because of it. On the contrary, my work productivity decreases several times over. I've tested this on myself many times already. I don't know, maybe 7 hours is enough for you? You need to test everything, control it, write it down, analyze it, basically find the perfect balance for yourself. Personally, for me, 9 hours is the minimum. And doing physical exercises, right now I don't have access to a gym, so pull-ups, parallel bars, running somewhere, jumping around, nobody canceled that. I'm not saying you need to pump yourself full of steroids and hit the gym for 5 hours a day. No, minimal physical activity to maintain tone. Well, that's more than enough. And sleep, in my opinion, is the most important thing there is. During it, you burn fat, build muscle, restore your mental abilities, and a bunch of other stuff. So, I don't have to explain all this for 15 minutes now. I left an article about it. You can go read everything. Well, sleep is the foundation. It's the most important thing you have. You can just remember this forever. Point 3. The myth of balance. Thousands of ordinary days form an ordinary life. Remember that. If you want your life to be extraordinary, your days have to reflect that. So how you live your day is how you live your life. Even in your teenage years, when you're under 20, this idea gets pushed that you need to get the most out of life. You need to party, you need to have fun, and you look at that and call it life. Parties, hanging out. But that's not life. Well, no. Okay, I'm joking around. There are people who really combine everything and earn more than me and you combined. This is all maximally individual stuff. And I know from experience that, for example, I personally get a kick out of sitting in front of a monitor all day and clicking on stuff. There are extroverts who can't sit still. I lean toward this and comfort myself with it. But if you want to achieve something really extraordinary in your life, you're definitely going to have to work hard. You really definitely need to work. Everyone around you says you need to maintain balance. And this goes back to the first point about rest. And I agree with that too. But think for yourself, maybe this dude, your friend that you saw somewhere, how he's hanging out. As an option, it could be that he worked for a year before this without leaving his room, and today he can afford this. And this creates this illusory picture. Like he's chilling and earning more than you, and you want the same thing. You need to analyze everything, compare, and think about whether this can really all be true. So you need to understand that you'll definitely have to work hard, you'll definitely have to work a lot, but also not forget about rest. Even give yourself unloading days with these same hangouts, like conditionally once every couple of months. The main thing is not to overdo it and not go to extremes. Personally, I realized long ago that the truth is, to achieve something unreal, you have to sacrifice something tan. Those same walks, games. And I personally made the decision for myself a long time ago that it's more important for me right now to give up all this stuff, like make my unloading day once a week and maybe once every couple of months go meet up with someone, hang out. That's enough for me for now. And I set my priorities long ago and chose this path of intensive work for myself. But from this comes another one of the main problems. After you're really capable of sitting and working 10 hours every day, you start to realize that you sit at this work for 8, 10, 12 hours, but actually accomplish such crap that ideally could have been done in 2-3 hours. And here's where it becomes clear that it's not about the amount of time you spend, but its effectiveness. This result doesn't depend on willpower, not on discipline, but on basic clarity of what you're doing. That is, you know exactly what you need to do today, what you get from completing it, how exactly this brings you closer to that one main goal you have in your life. For a very long time, I made the mistake of not planning my work. I just did something by intuition. And then it turned out that I really managed to do in 10 hours what I can now do in about 3 hours, for example. If your brain constantly switches between different ideas and tasks, it will never be able to get into that same flow state everyone dreams about. That's exactly why you need to set aside separate time in your schedule for planning your day. Every morning I plan about 3 to 4 key directions and form different tasks from them. So what many people say, you need to plan in the evening. But in the evening I only want to sleep and I don't give a damn about all these tasks anymore. I just want to sleep. And for the week, I can plan something very vague, like when you plan 10 tasks for each day of the week. Well, very rarely does this work out to actually complete. So for me, optimally, it's every morning you get up, you roughly know what's what, and from this you write out your task for the day and start working. I personally don't use any templates in Notion. I go with the old school grandpa method, write tasks on a sheet of paper or on a whiteboard. For example, I'm not a fan of all this complication of writing through different programs. Personally, I spend more time writing these tasks than completing them sometimes. So the old grandpa method, A4 sheet, marker, and whiteboard, that's more than enough for me. But what I might really lack is environment. Although internal motivation is the strongest, there's one type of external motivation that can beat it. That's motivation through ego. You've definitely heard this phrase that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and it's really true. I try to surround myself with people who work more than me, but there's this nuance that I don't live in Los Angeles next to productivity masterminds. I'm just like you, an absolutely ordinary guy from a small town where I don't have multi-millionaire friends. So I get by just watching American aesthetic bro bloggers who at 19 are earning millions. And this really motivates me. You look at them and think, maybe this is all actually possible? And something starts tugging at you, your ego gets triggered. Yes, ego isn't always good, but you can use it to your advantage. And you need to understand the most important thing. Everything I said today in this video won't give you results overnight. Some things won't even show themselves after weeks, some not even after months. But when all this builds into you, it will work for you your whole life. I now already subconsciously just do what I talked about in today's video. So, well, most people objectively chase short-term results and burn out. I personally see my life as a marathon. That is, there's no need to rush. Everything gradually, bit by bit, slowly but surely. I know 100% that progress is non-linear. BTA, there will be ups and downs, but this long-term vision keeps me motivated. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a great day and see you later.